ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. We're back again with another disturbing missing persons case. In fact, this is two missing people, two young children, brother and sister, Lilly and Jack Sullivan. They've been missing for the past 9 days. This one here is not making any sense. The children's mother, Malaya Brooks Murray, her story just doesn't make any sense. She told the news that she woke up on Friday morning, heard the kids playing in the room next door. When she woke up the second time, she had realized that they were gone, and that's when she called the police. This one here is extremely mysterious, and these two young children, 6 and 4 years old, allegedly have just wandered off out of the back garden and not come back, which doesn't make any sense whatsoever. Now been missing for 9 days, ladies and gentlemen. So what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a number of videos that could give us a clearer insight, a clearer understanding of what's taken place, and potentially tell us what has happened to Lilly and Jack Sullivan. Let's check this out.
The more I find out about this brother and sister, Jack and Lilly, who went missing, the worse it gets. Just listen to some of these. So it's now been confirmed that on the day that the kids went missing, they both took the day off school because Lilly had a cough. How convenient. Which, if you think about it, them kids could have actually went missing on the morning. Who would have known? Which would have given plenty time to put this story in place, a story that doesn't even add up anywhere. Then some photos dropped. Let's have a look. So according to the mum's story, she said that the kids left through the sliding door. We now have an up close and personal at the sliding door. The sliding door leads out onto the garden. The garden that is enclosed. It's gated off. It's fenced off. So if we look at the property zoomed out, when the police had the sniffer dogs there, the sniffer dogs only got a scent of the kids to around here, which is where it meets the road. To me personally, if the kids had left on their own accord on foot, surely there'd be a longer trail of them, unless they'd gotten into a car and was transported.
Yes.
So this little area at the back of the trailer, let's have a look. Now this sits at the back of the trailer, sort of connected to that garden, also enclosed with a fence. Now it's been alleged that the mother's brother actually lives in here, even though it's got no roof. I wouldn't even let a dog live in this, but there's been no sight of the brother. The mother has not mentioned him, she's not seen him. Now, as they were doing some more searches, right, the stepdad was spoken to, again on camera, and made this comment. He was explaining what the kids would be wearing, even though he didn't see them. But he said that the daughter had a white backpack on. He then goes on to say that the backpack is probably going to be brown now from being in the woods. What? What sort of comment is that? I mean, these kids were meant to be sleeping. How do you know that she had a backpack on? And why would you say it's probably brown now from being in the woods? Please go and watch these videos with a stepdad and tell me that there isn't alarm bells ringing in your head, because I literally cannot stop thinking about these poor kids.
You know, they took their boots. That's pink boots for Lilly, blue boots for Jack with dinosaurs on them. Lilly had her backpack with white, and it was white with strawberries on it. I imagine now if they're in the woods that it'd be probably brown, but I don't see them carrying their backpack. I don't see them keeping a pull-up on for that long after it got soaked from the very first day.
He said if they went through the woods, then it probably would be brown by now. So that's the reason why he said it. I get it. I mean, it's not really suspicious. Based on what I've read so far about all of this, and I haven't read too much, I have to be real. Stepdad does seem innocent. The stepdad's actually been open to taking the lie detector test. The stepdad's open to fully help in this investigation. The person in question at this moment in time is the mother. Another person I would also be looking at is the biological father. Now that's a very, very good one. The reason I say that is because reading a few reports earlier, it does say that the kids have never met their biological father before. This could turn out to be a movie where the biological father has been hunting these children down for years. And all of a sudden he's found them on this little ranch in Canada and he plots his move. Now I would rather that be the case than these kids being found dead. According to some of the reports, the authorities are already looking at these two children as two dead children. That's their thinking, only because they've been missing for 9 days now. But hopefully they're totally wrong and these kids are found safe and sound.
They only found the 2 boot tracks outside of the house.
Whereabouts?
Right beside the house, probably 10 feet away from the backyard.
In the backyard, okay.
Nothing new, other than the helicopters are still in the air. And they had dogs. They took around the dogs today. And as of last night, they had 8 more drones going on with infrared. I urge the public to come out if you have anything, come out as fast as possible and get it to any detachment or any police service that you have available to get to talk to. And Jack just absolutely loves bugs, dinosaurs, anything like that. But Lily loves girly things, but she also loves doing everything with Jack, bugs. They're like best friends, not just brother and sister.
We've heard a lot about the impact that this is having on the community at large and the family, and it's really important that we locate these children and get the information from the scene here and from anyone who might have information about the kids and their habits. So it's been really important to have engagement from anyone who knows these kids. We're operating on a search right now to locate them from having wandered. So that's the goal that we're all working towards here. I know that all of the information that has been collected is being looked at carefully by GSAR and by the investigators and the police on scene to ensure that our best practices are followed in order to establish where the searches need to be concentrated and focused.
So it's been mentioned that they've been scouring the whole area over the past 8 to 9 days, ladies and gentlemen. The woods, the roads, everywhere around that house. And there is scent of the children up that road, but the scent dies at the top of the road. It means, in my opinion, those children would have got into a car. Why would they have left the house and walked all the way up the road, which is probably about 50 to 70, maybe 100 meters, to then get into a car? Were they forced against their will to get into the car? See, unfortunately, we're being told that the parents were sleeping. They never heard anything. Now, another thing to add that is slightly strange that the stepfather mentioned in his interview is the things that the kids left with. Why would a 6-year-old kid, Lily, be playing in a garden but have her backpack on? Why has she got a backpack on? And then why would he know that she had her backpack on?
Lilly and Jack Sullivan have been missing for almost an entire week out of Nova Scotia. A huge search has been conducted, and the police are now scaling that back because they do not believe the children could survive in the elements for so long. This extremely detailed search has brought up nothing but a shoe print. There is a ton of speculation around the mother, Malaya, and the husband, Daniel. The couple shares an 18-month-old baby together, and then Lily and Jack are Malaya's children from another relationship. The children were reported missing Friday on May 2nd. It is believed that they went to school on Monday. It's unsure if they went on Tuesday. Wednesday was a teacher workday. They didn't have school, and they definitely didn't go to school on Thursday or Friday. The parents said that Lily had a cough, so they kept them home. So this is what the parents say happened on May 2nd. Around 10 a.m., both of them were in bed with their 18-month-old baby. Malaya said that she was in and out of sleep. They said that Lily popped her head in the room a few times, and the couple asked them to play quietly because they wanted the baby to keep sleeping. So Daniel says that he heard Jack in the next room playing. All of a sudden it was quiet. They were really concerned. They start looking around for the kids. They're not there. They go outside. They're not there. Daniel gets in his car, starts driving around to find them, and Malaya ends up calling the police. In the mom's interview, she said that they were playing outside, but they didn't know it at the time. They believe that they went out the sliding glass door, which they say is extremely quiet. They wouldn't have heard them leave. They said the kids' boots were gone and the door was shut when they never really ever shut the door. The parents were constantly reminding them, you have to shut the door back, and this time it was closed. So at the time, they think
What about the backpack? Mention the boots, but what about the backpack? How would the stepfather know that she had that backpack on? Based on what this lady said, the stepfather and the mother were in bed with their newly born. The other two were playing. It went extremely quiet. They got concerns, went looking, and they disappeared. See, that right there is not making any sense whatsoever. This is a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old. When does a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old decide to leave the premises and go wandering by themselves? You have to ask yourself at this point, how many minutes did they leave the house before the stepfather decided to jump in his car and look for them? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes? Within any one of those time spans, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old isn't getting that far. You also got to ask, where are the neighbors? People who know they're your children. I mean, at this point, it's looking extremely mysterious.
That Lily had on like a pink sweater, pants, and then her pink boots, and that he was wearing his dinosaur boots and a pull-up. Lily also had her backpack. In an interview, Daniel said he was surprised that they hadn't found the backpack or the pull-up. And I think it's really concerning they haven't found the pull-up. The majority of children, especially older toddlers, are super prone to immediately taking off a full pull-up because it's uncomfortable. So if they really did wander off into this wooded area around the home, you would think that there would be some sort of sign. But instead, the only thing the police have found is a shoe print.
So true what this lovely woman just said right here, that a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old would have definitely left some form of evidence, whether it was the backpack lying on the floor or something else. There would be something. You know, a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old wouldn't just leave the premises and disappear without a trace. It makes no sense.
And the dogs they had out there, they can't find a scent. Daniel has said that he believes this was an abduction. However, the police say that there's no signs of that. The police also said they haven't ruled out something suspicious has happened, but they said that that's the case in every situation like this. Now, this has been reported by some reliable people, but I have not found it in the news, so I can't say it's 100% true. According to these sources, there was a domestic call at the home for a heated argument, and one of the two were asked to leave, and Malaya left. She then ends up going to stay with her family with the 18-month-old baby. She was also not allowed to participate in the search. I know a lot of people think that it's crazy that she would leave with her baby. This is the only baby she has left. As a parent, it would take a lot to keep me away from searching. But the police have said there have been multiple injuries by professional searchers. So it's not crazy to think that they don't want her out there getting hurt. It's also been alleged that CPS asked her to leave. Now, she also has blocked Daniel, which is very odd because that's exactly who I would need to communicate with to know what's happening.
Exactly.
Now, as far as Daniel, he gave the police permission to search his home, search his property. He handed over his devices. He agreed to take a polygraph test. He agreed to take a drug test. I have a hard time believing that a guilty person would do all of those things, but maybe it's a manipulation tactic. I don't know. It's not my job to decide if they're guilty or not.
Possibly.
The most important part of all of this is the children. And until they're found, there is a chance that they could still be out there. So if you live in the area, if you hear anything, report it. If you see them, help. Because regardless of how you feel about the parents, this right here, Lilly and Jack, that's what matters.
Absolute facts what she's saying here. These two kids is what matters, but it just doesn't make any sense. 6 and 4 walk out the front door and just magically disappear. You're telling me that a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old just happily wandered off without their parents? No way those kids wandered off. Either two things happened. Something happened at the home address. If something didn't happen at that home address, those kids were probably abducted from outside that home address. Like, those kids didn't even walk down the roads. They couldn't have even walked down the roads. I don't think they're just like, oh, come on, let's go, and walk down the road. I don't think that is the case whatsoever. Someone pulled up outside the house. It could be a familiar face to the kids. They might know who the person is. That's why it was easy for them to get into the car. But someone pulled up outside that house, got those kids into the car, and ducked out. And that's just my opinion.
Very quick update. I've had another epiphany. It's very late at night. I'm about to go to bed. I've protected you with a filter. You're welcome. So I was saying earlier that the alibi of the parents of Jack and Lilly Sullivan has been completely trashed. That no longer exists. The one where they said they were both in bed with each other and they didn't know when the kids left. And she's now saying that she thinks he's responsible and her family is saying that. So if that's the case, how can he be responsible if you said he was in bed with you? So your original statement was false. Okay, so we won't go into that. But my next epiphany...
That's mad. So the mother is trying to say that the stepfather is responsible for this, or she believes the stepfather is responsible for this. Although the stepfather has been open to them searching the house, doing a lie detector test, like that last lady said, it could be a manipulation tactic. We are familiar with those manipulation tactics, especially from one of the recent cases that we've been covering. At this moment, we can't be too sure. We need more information before we can make that determination.
Who else thinks it's odd that when they were getting interviewed, moments after the children had vanished, they were interviewed separately? They weren't hugging each other. They weren't supporting each other. They weren't leaning on each other, crying. They were interviewed separately. That, to me, is also very odd. And I hadn't noticed it up till now. What do we think?
Maybe there was a fight that led up to this situation taking place.
I'm not sure why he keeps voluntarily giving this information to the press, but it just makes him look worse. And if this is true, it is not something that I'd be wanting the media to report in articles. So his friend has driven him to the CPS offices requesting to see the baby, the 18-month-old, who mum has took with her wherever she's gone. And they've said no. If there wasn't a concern with him, why would they deny him access to his own child? And it goes on to say that as of now, he cannot be around the child. I'm not sure he quite understands that they would only do that if he was deemed to be a risk, because his understanding of it is that because of the kids going missing, they have to keep a tight leash on everything. I mean, anyone who's got experience with this will agree that you don't stop children having contact with a parent unless there is a significant risk of harm. To do that, you need some sort of evidence. So for him to share this was the Globe, by the way, I now have millions more questions.
Absolutely. It doesn't make any sense why they would stop him from seeing his newborn. The only thing I'm thinking is that his partner, Malaya, has been stirring the pot and saying things that have made the police fear for the child's life. Like, we literally don't know at this moment in time, but it's extremely questionable as to why they have said to the father that you can't see your son. Literally, I don't know how to feel at this moment in time. Both of these parents seem sus. Stepdad seems more open into helping the investigation, but then you've got the mum on the other hand that's more or less split up from the stepdad, left him by himself, cut out, taken their child and clearly said something to the police that have made them tell the father of that child that he can't see him. So it seems like there's some type of relationship breakdown, some type of relationship politics going on between the two. And ultimately, it could be a reason as to why both of these young children are missing.
What happened was we woke up, I heard them playing in the next room beside us, and I was drifting in and out of sleep. And they're not the type of kids that we tell them not to go outside on their own. We always make sure that we're out there with them, watching them. And they happen to just get out that sliding door and we can't hear it when it opens. And they were outside playing, but we weren't aware of it at the time. And the next thing we knew, it was quiet.
How would you know they were outside playing if you wasn't aware of it at the time? It makes no sense.
And we get up and I tell him, my partner, Daniel, I tell him, do you hear the kids? And he says, no. And we get up instantly. We're looking outside. We're looking everywhere, yelling for them. And I instantly just call 911. I just had the instinct I needed to call. They're both really go-lucky children. They're so sweet. They talk to anyone. They'll talk your ear
something about what she's saying that doesn't sit right with me. I have to be fair.
off. They will speak to anyone in a store. Everyone. They're just extremely sweet kids. I appreciate the huge search effort going on right now, but we've been pushing for an Amber Alert, which hasn't been issued. Not just that they could possibly be abducted, which it is a possibility that they could have been, but just an alert to let everyone know that they are missing. We had people text me saying that they weren't aware, someone else let them know that they were missing, and it would just be nice if everyone could be alerted. We thought maybe that we found tracks, but it's still uncertain. It's been raining and they're probably soaking wet, but with the sun today, I'm hopeful that they are feeling warm. We're all filled with pain and sorrow.
I just don't understand. Hold on. Like, you actually think your 6-year-old and 4-year-old are just out there wandering around? Oh, it was raining. Now today it's sunny, so they should be warm. Come on, man. What the hell are we talking about here? There is no way a 6-year-old and a 4-year-old is out there just wandering around by themselves. It's either the mum and the stepdad know exactly what is taking place, or there's some sort of third-party involvement that they don't actually know about, or one of them could indirectly know about. If there is third party, my money leans towards the biological father. There's something that just tells me this mum knows more than she's actually saying. I think she knows more than the stepfather knows.
We just want them found. We want them home. Everyone loves them. They are definitely verbal, and they do have possible autism, but it's not extreme autism. It's just they have issues with school, and they don't catch up with the other kids. I just want to remain hopeful, but there's always, in a mother's mind, you're always thinking the worst. Last night was one of the worst nights because I didn't have them in their beds, and I don't want to go through that another night without them.
Now, I'm not too sure about you guys, but after watching that interview, I feel like the mum knows so much more than she's telling. As I've already repeated in this video, it doesn't make any sense for a 4-year-old and a 6-year-old just to wander off and not come back. There's something fishy and mysterious about this one, ladies and gentlemen, and I need to know exactly what you are thinking right about now. So leave all your comments down below in the comment section. I'll do what I can to keep you guys up to date with this one. Just make sure you hit the like button. Let's get over 500 likes on this video. Hopefully by you hitting the like button and leaving your comments down below, it will spread the awareness of this video, get this one out to as many people as we possibly can, because what's important is bringing Lilly and Jack Sullivan home. Subscribe to the channel if you are newly watching, and make sure you turn your notification bells on so you don't miss out on future videos. I look forward to seeing you guys on the next one.